2017 DSE. Number one, which of the following statements about Asia-Pacific economic cooperation is or are correct? Like as you see, there's entities called Asia APAC, okay, APAC, Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation. The keywords here is cooperation. It means this institution is composed of a number of countries in which high government officials will gather to give the opinions and just suggestions in the forum, trying to promote the sustainable economic growth in this region. That means in Asia Pacific region. You know, Pacific, that means Pacific Ocean. That means countries close to Pacific Ocean, including Australia, including Malaysia, including the western side of the USA. Okay, of course, include Japan as well. So the answer should not be one. Should not be number one. It's the number one states that it settles a trade disputes in the Asia Pacific region. It is wrong because this is just a kind of cooperation. It is not just a court or platform to solve some conflicts or disputes. So number one is wrong. 2 and 3 is correct because for 2 promotes, APAC promotes sustainable economic growth. That means this cooperation ensures there is continuous economic growth in this region, not to stop. Number 3, it encourages cooperation on trade and investment in Asia Pacific region through high-level government and government dialogues. That means, say, for example, Xi Jinping, the government official in the mainland China, and our CEO will gather in this forum to talk about or to promote this kind of sustainable economic growth. So number one is C, but only 42% candidates can answer it correctly. For 2, assume that no account balance is missing in the trial from the trial balance if the total of the debit balances and total of the credit balances of the trial balance are not equal. What does it mean? Remember, for trial balance is not a T account. It's not a T account. There should not be any debit entries or credit entries, but it is a summary. For example, a sales account, what we call credit balance of the sales account means a summary of the sales account. That means a credit total in the sales account is bigger than the debit total in the sales account. It comes up to become the credit balance in the sales account. This credit balance will be posted to the trial balance at the credit side of to the credit position of the trial balance. So remember, trial balance is not a T account. It's not a T account. It's just a statement or a list of debit and credit balances. It's very important. It's a list of the debit balances and the credit balances of the accounts. So assume no account balance is missing. That means all the account balances have been entered in the trial balance, but still the balances is not equal. What does it mean? It means number one, one or more debit entries in the trial balance is all wrong. According to double entries, any debit entries should have a corresponding credit entry. But if the total of the debit balances are not equal to the credit balances, it means there may be some balances which recorded wrongly. So number one is correct. For number 2, the statement of financial position will not balance. Okay, all the accounts in the trial balance should be used to prepare the income statement and the statement of financial position. Maybe some account in the related to the income statement are wrongly entered, so that the net profit may be wrong. But remember, some account may not be wrong as related to the income statement. That means the sales, opening stock, purchases, returns inward, and so, expenses so and so are not recorded wrongly. But the other items such as cash, bank accounts receivable, current liabilities, so and so are recorded wrongly. So we do not know here that if the net profit of the income statement will be wrong. Number 3, we're not sure. We're not sure. Okay, you cannot we cannot have more information to tell about this. So number 3 is not correct. But at last, if the total debit balances are not equal to the credit balances, the destination means that the statement of financial position cannot agree to each other. I mean, access, the total amount of access cannot agree with the total amount of credit capital and liabilities. That means A is not equal to C plus L. So number 2 must be correct. Must be correct. Will not balance. But number 3, we are not sure. So the answer for number 2 is A. Only 38% of candidates answered it correctly. Number 3, about Hang Seng Index. When answering this question, remember you're asked to give it not correct. Not correct. So please circle it in your question book to make sure that you are not answering wrongly. For Hang Seng Index, it is an index which consists of 50 constituent shares. Which made up of over 65% of the total market value of all the number of shares. That means those market capitalization of 50 constituent shares can be a representative of the overall Hong Kong economic performance, stock market performance. Okay, so D is correct. It serves as a benchmark for the general performance of Hong Kong stock market. It is correct because it can be a representative because of the market capitalization. Capitalization is so great to be acceptable as a representative. A is correct as well. A is correct as well. Okay, we have 4 sub-indexes: core finance, utilities, properties, and commerce and industry. Talking about utilities, okay, these companies in public utilities means which are closely related to our daily uses by the public, such as transport, KMB, KMB, and telecommunication industry, such as some SmarTone and MTR, and electricity, such as China Light and Power Company, such as coal gas company, but water. Okay, water is a public utilities, but which is not a listed company. Okay, water department is owned by the government. Okay, so all these kinds of public utilities are closely related to our daily lives of people of Hong Kong. But remember, once there is a market crash or decline in the market trends, much of the investment will go to the shares of the public utilities because it can be a buffer against any fluctuation in the market. Remember this. So A is correct. For B, it measures the performance of the largest and most liquid companies listed in Hong Kong is also correct. Because those shares in the constituent shares in the Hang Seng Index can be regarded as called blue chips. It means they are famous companies. They have a good reputation in their financial performance. Okay, but C is not correct because we have 50 constituent shares in the Hang Seng Index, but not on the growth enterprise market. Okay, talking about growth enterprise market, we have 2 platforms. for shares to be issued. One is called main board, and the other is called GEM. That means it is called a growth enterprise market. That means such markets or platform are especially for those potential companies, but these companies do not have good continuous financial performance, such as continuous profit shown in the income statement, or a sufficient amount of cash flows, but because of the idea of a good potential of these companies, they will try to raise capital in this GEM. Okay, so shares listed in this market is of high risk because the investors putting the money in this market may have a much high risk facing losses because if the investment of this company is making use of your funds failed, the share price will drop significantly. So the answer for number 3 is C. 62% candidates answered correctly. 4. Which of the following statements about business management are correct? Number 1, under the unity of command principle, each employee only receives orders from one superior. We have 5 business management skills, namely division of labor, unity of command, unity of direction, delegation of authority. The last one, management by objective, that is MBO. We now look at the unity of command. Command means order given by your boss. So number 1 is correct, because each employee only receives orders from one superior. Remember, if the employee receives orders from different superiors, that means there may be conflicting commands, which will lead to a messy situation of the employee, because the employee does not know which command he or she should follow. Just like your father and mother gives you different instructions or commands. One allows you to come back home late at night. The other ordered you to come back early before 6 o'clock. Such conflicting commands will lead to a very confusing. Okay, confusing. So number 1 is correct. Okay. Number 2, a poor organization has more layers than a flat organization, just like a pyramid. Okay, a tall organization means just like a pyramid. Of course, a pyramid have more layers than a flat organization structure. Okay. Number 2 is correct as well. Number 3, communication between superiors and subordinates can be improved by adopting management objectives. Right, because under MBO, superiors will hold meetings, regular meetings with subordinates to talk about the progress of meeting the goals. Subordinates are able to meet the goals on time. So communication will be better or improved by adopting this kind of management skills. So the answer is D. Number 4, 71%. Number 5, in the accounting cycle, which of the following steps comes immediately after the preparation of a trial balance? So before the answer is given to you, we should first look at what accounting cycle is. First one, we start from recording the business transactions in the 7-day books. The first day book is a sales day book, purchases day book, returns inwards day book, returns outwards day book, cash book, petty cash book, and the last one, general or general day book. So after recording the transactions in the day books, we'll post these transactions to the corresponding ledgers. We have 3 ledgers. Namely the trade receivables ledger, trade payable ledgers, and the last one is general ledger. Okay, after closing the balances, all those ledgers will post these balances to the trial balance together with the adjustments. What these adjustments will be seen in other information. So together with the trial balance and other information, we'll prepare the income statement and the final statement of financial position. So as you know these steps in the accounting cycle, we know that immediately after the preparation of a trial balance, we should have, number 5, we should have to make period end adjustment. Period end adjustment. That is also such items in the other information. Okay, number 5 is boy. Only 47% correct. Oh, number 6. Which of the following statements about the trade relationship between Hong Kong and the mainland are correct? Number 1. Hong Kong is the largest trading partner of the mainland. It seems that most candidates will choose this answer because most candidates have learned that the relationship between Hong Kong and mainland is very close, right? Trading partner, largest trading partner is a key word, but the subject and object has been changed here. Look at the mainland. The main subject here is the mainland. The Hong Kong. Okay. You say Hong Kong is the largest trading partner of mainland. Of course not, right? Because the answer should be mainland is the largest trading partner of Hong Kong. Because Hong Kong relies mainland so much instead of the fact that mainland relies Hong Kong so much. The largest trading partner of the mainland is the USA. It's the USA instead of Hong Kong. So number 1 is wrong. So you see that if you are aware that number 1 is wrong, so you get the answer C. Answer C, 2 and 3. But only 54%, okay, that's more than half of the candidates know this answer. Okay, number 2 and number 3 are obvious. In terms of the value of goods, the mainland is the largest re-export destination of Hong Kong. That means most of the goods going out of Hong Kong will go to the mainland. Right, is correct. Number 3, many goods originating in Hong Kong, that means producing in Hong Kong, exported to the mainland are tariff-free. Tariff-free, that means free of tax. Free of tax is correct as well. So number 6 the answer should be C. Number 7, about personal finance. Anna is 60 years old and works as a part-time consultant in a firm with a monthly salary of $40,000. Under the MPF system, what will be the amount Anna contributes each month? Most candidates know about 5%. That means she has to contribute 5% of his salary. But a number of the candidates do not know the limit, the maximum limit of the salary that should make the contribution. That is $30,000. Okay, $30,000. That means the maximum amount of the contribution the salary should pay out of 5% is $30,000. That means only $1,500 will be contributed by Anna each month. That means $30,000 times 5% is that of $40,000. Okay. The minimum is 7,100 now. 7,100 now. That means for anyone salary below 7,100, he or she does not need to make contribution himself or herself, but the employer has to make 5%, at least 5% out of 7,100 to the portfolio, to the MPF. Okay, so the answer is C. Number 7, C. Only 35% of the candidates get the correct answer. Number 8, which of the following tasks is or are performed by the information management department of a company? It is about high form. Business functions. Okay, remember information management department has the function to support all the others departments. including saving the record, backup the record, presenting the information. All right. Number one, designing a file storage system for the training records of the Human Resources Department. This is correct because the Human Resources Department has a function to train and develop employees, but the Information Management Department has a job to design some information system, including the file storage system and a presentation system for use of the Human Resources Department. So number one is correct. Number two, assisting the management marketing department to process market research data. Number two is correct as well. Assist, this is a keyword, okay? To process, the processing of the information is one of the function of information management department. But number three is wrong because preparing the budget is the job, the duty of the finance department. But of course, the information management department can support the finance department by making use of an information system to present the budget, okay, to facilitate the preparation of the budget. All right. So number three is wrong. So the answer for number 8 is boy. 79% correct. Number 9, if an account has a debit balance, which of the following statements about the account is correct? What it means a debit balance? Okay. Remember, an account is a T account, right? It's a T account. We have a debit entry and a credit entry. When there are a number of debit entries as well, we have a number of credit entries, okay, do re mi, a lot of debit entries. At the end of the month or at the end of the year, we sum up the debit column and we sum up the credit column as well, and we compare the differences between the debit total and the credit total. When we see that the debit side has a greater amount than the credit side, that means the account has a debit balance. Just like a motor car account, right? A motor car account. Of course, we always debit motor cars to show an increase in the amount. So at the end of the year, the motor car account should have a debit balance. That means the debit side total must be greater than the credit side total. Okay, this is what we call debit balance. So A, the amount of the debit side in the account is higher than the amount of credits in the debit side. Number 9, correct. This is what I'm talking about. Okay, but only 51% of the candidates can get it right. Only half of them get it right. Okay, let's go to CB. The balance carried on appears on the debit side of the amount. What we are talking about, plus minus, okay, for motor car account, plus minus, it means plus. That means the balance brought down should appear on the plus position, not the carried down. Okay, the carried down and the brought down, BD, are in different position. Okay, are in opposite position. So we are referring to BD for positive side. Okay, so B is wrong. Okay, B, carried down, should be on the credit side. C, balance brought down. Okay, balance brought down should be on the debit side. Okay, brought down, debit side. So on the right side, wrong. Okay, should be left side. D, the answer is exit account. I'm not talking about which account because we have ACLERD. Okay, ACLERD. That means we have exit account. Of course, we have expense account. We have drawings account. Okay, a drawings account has a debit balance as well. So this account it may not be an asset account. So D, wrong. Number 9, 51% correct. Okay. 10, about time value of money. This study is going to put an amount into a savings account with an interest 7% per year, compounded annually. Okay, annually. He wants to receive a sum $150 from the account after 3 years. Remember, this is the future value. Okay, future value. How much should he put in the savings account now? That means you're going to find the present value. Okay, so according to the formula, we are making use of the formula present value times bracket 1 plus 7% to the power 3 equal to $150,000. I repeat, present value times 1 plus 7% to the power 3 is equal to $150,000. That means in order to find the present value, we divide $150,000 by 1 plus 7% to the power 3. So the answer is smaller. Okay, the answer is B. B, 90% correct. 90% correct. Number 11, about business ownership. You are required to compare the differences between a sole proprietorship and a limited company. The main character is the limited company, right? Okay. Number 1, the business will not close upon withdrawal or death of the owner. This is talking about the continuity of a business. Continuity of a business. As you know, a sole proprietorship and a partnership do not have continuity. It means any withdrawal or death of the owners will lead to the failure of the business. That means the close up of the business. While a limited company, even though the owners withdraw or die, the limited company will go on to operate. That means the limited company will have a good continuity. Number 1 is correct. Number 1 is correct. Number 2, the setup cost is lower. You know, the limited company has a lot of advantages, such as limited liability, while a sole proprietorship and a partnership do not have limited liability. So the setup cost for limited companies should be higher. This is what we call pros and cons. Okay. Number 3, the profit tax rate is lower. Wrong. Okay, it should be higher. As the profit tax rate to be paid by a sole proprietorship and partnership is 15%, while that of a limited company is 16.5%. 16.5%. So the answer for 11 is A. 82% of the candidates get it right. Okay, 12. Chuan Key and Yip Key are trading firms in the same industry. The gross profit ratios and the net profit ratios for the year 2016 are shown below. You know the formula for gross profit ratio. This is gross profit over net sales. Gross profit over net sales. Net sales equals to sales minus returns inwards. Sales minus returns inwards. While net profit ratio is equal to net profit over net sales. Okay. So what conclusion would be? A. IP has a higher sales amount. Remember this. Most candidates cannot get it right to tell the differences between percentage and amount. Percentage and dollar. Okay. Just like my example given you that Li Ka-shing is willing to give you 0.1% of his assets, while your subject teacher is willing to give you 100% of his assets. Which one would you prefer? Which one would you prefer? The subject teacher is ready to give you 100% of his assets, while Li Ka-shing is ready to give you only 0.1% of his assets. You know the difference between percentage and amount. Percentage and amount. Of course, Li Ka-shing's 0.1% is of a much higher amount than your subject teachers would like to give you, right? So A is wrong. A is wrong because Yip Key has a higher sales amount. Even though Yip Key has a higher gross profit ratio, it does not mean that the sales amount for Yip Key was higher than Chuan Key. B as well. We are not sure. We are not sure if the cost of goods sold for Yip Key is higher than Chuan Key. So B is wrong. C. Chenki has a higher net profit. We just see that Chenki is 22% in net profit ratio, UP 20%, but it does not mean that the amount of net profit is higher for Chenki. So A, B, C are wrong. The answer should be D. Chenki has a better control over. Better control is a qualitative, argument for the ratios. Qualitative argument, how better, we don't know how better, so we just know that about operating expenses, we just focus on the net profit ratio, because you see that the gross profit ratio of EP 45% is higher than Chenki 39%, but on the contrary, Chenki has a higher net profit ratio than Chenki. This is a reverse changes. It means that the control over the cost of goods sold, as shown by the comparison between their gross profit ratio, because gross profit is equal to net sales minus cost of goods sold. So a lower gross profit ratio means less control over cost of goods sold. So Chenki less better to control the cost of goods sold, but the net profit ratio is higher. So it shows that about expenses, operating expenses, Chenki has a better control over them. So the answer should be D. 75% can get it right. Number 13, if the nominal rate of return remains unchanged, which of the following statements about the effective rate of return are correct? You should tell the difference between nominal rate of return and effective rate of return. Nominal return has another say called a declared rate of return. Declared rate of return. That means the bank will declare the interest given to you, but if you can compound your interest, compound your interest for higher frequency, you can get a higher return than the nominal return. Say, for example, 10%. You can get more than 10%. This is what we call effective rate of return. The formula for effective rate of return is equal to 1 minus rate over n. N stands for the number of periods to the power n minus 1. 1 stands for the principal. All right, I'll repeat. 1 minus rate over n to the power n minus 1. So number one, effective rate of return reflects the actual return on investment. Number 13 is correct. Actual return. That means if you can compound more frequently, you can get a higher return. So the actual return will be higher than what nominal rate of return shows. Number 2, effective rate of return will be higher if the amount of principal increases. It seems that it's correct, but it's actually not correct because it does no effect with the principal. So according to my formula given to you, 1 minus rate over n to the power n minus 1 stands for the rate. I mean the rate. So the rate has no relationship with the amount of capital. So number 2 is incorrect. Very important here. Okay, number 2 is incorrect. Number 3, effective rate of return will be high if the frequency of compounding increases. That's correct. Because if we compound the principal more frequently, just like we compound quarterly when compared to half yearly. Of course, when we compound quarterly, it gives a more return than we compound semi-annually. That means monthly better than quarterly, which is better than semi-annually or annually. Okay, so number 3 is correct. Number 13, the answer is B. Only 55% candidates can get it correct. Number 14, which of the following illustrate the importance of entrepreneurship in business development? Number 1, reduce business risk. Look at it. Although in many situations or in economic definition, entrepreneurship is to bear business risk, is to bear business risk. Which does not mean that entrepreneurship will reduce business risk. The entrepreneurs have to bear, okay, have to take this kind of risk, but not to reduce the risk or not to pursue these kinds of risk. Okay, remember the verb is very important here. So number one is not correct, not correct. But number two and number three are obviously correct, because entrepreneurship will promote economic growth, because it will lead to establishment of business, whether they are small or big. All right. Number three, encourage innovation. Of course, as an entrepreneur, they'll try to innovate and create such kind of products which meet the needs of the customers. So the answer for question 14 should be C. 77% students get it right. 15, which of the following is not a use of financial statements? Circle the keyword here, not. Okay, put tick, and find the cross. Okay. A, assist different users in making decisions. There are a lot of uses of the financial statements, such as the government, such as the creditors, such as the suppliers, lenders of money, employees, and management as well, right? So A is correct. B, provide information about the financial position of a business. Okay, such kind of position can be reflected from the statement of financial position. So B is correct. C, provide information to employees for assessing their job security, because employees are so concerned about their pay rise, or if their job position can be kept safely. Because if the income statement shows that the company has been suffering losses for a number of years, it means the company or the management will lay off some employees in order to cut loss, right? So the employees may try to check from the income statement if the company has showing good performance. So C is correct. D is wrong, because the keyword here is qualitative. Okay, you should tell the difference between qualitative and quantitative. Okay, quantitative. Quantitative means about money. Okay, it can be measured in terms of money. Okay, of course, financial statement, according to the monetary measurement concept, can be must be shown in terms of money. Okay, but such qualitative information, such as the experience of employees or managers, the potential prospect, and so cannot be objectively shown in the financial statements. So this word keyword qualitative information is wrong. Okay, the answer for question 15 is D. Only 40% can get it right. Oh, number 16. Which of the following is or are physical factor or factors that might affect businesses in Hong Kong? This is the chapter 1 of the business topics. You are asked to give the external factors which affect the business decisions. There's a busy called the short form called PESTLE, P-E-S-T-L-E, P-E-S-T-L-E. P stands for political reason, E stands for economic, S stands for social, T stands for technological, L legal, and the last one E environmental, something like a physical factor. So 16 physical factors should be climatic condition and air quality. So number 16, the correct answer is boy, 61% correct. Population structure is not a physical factor for Hong Kong. Number 17, the following are the basic listing requirements for new applicants to list their stocks on the main board of the Stock Exchange of Hong Kong, except there are two platforms to issue shares for raising capital. One is called main board, and the other one is called GEM, G-E-M, Growth Enterprise Market. Main board, you see the word main, that means it's a major one. That means most stocks will be listed on this board, this platform. because such stocks should be of more famous than the stocks listed in the GEM. As well, the requirements, the listing requirements for the stocks on the main board should be more strict, such as cash flow requirement and profit for the last 3 years should be much higher than the requirement for the stocks listed on the growth enterprise market. So 17, except, okay, that means all three factors, requirements, are important for applicants to list their stocks on the main board. That means the cash flow, B, history of operation, C, correct. Profit attributable to shareholders, correct. But the size of workforce is not correct because the requirements does not need to state how many employees of the applying companies should have for listing their stocks on the main board. So A is correct answer for the exception. 17, 56% candidate correct. 18, from the point of view of a franchisor, which of the following is or are shortcomings? Means disadvantages, okay? Disadvantages of running a business in the form of franchising. So you act as a franchisor instead of the franchisee. So that means you have the name, say for example 7-Eleven, to see the shortcomings of running the business in this form of franchising. One franchisee may set up his own business to become a competitor. Right, this is correct. Because the franchisee once learned all the management skills and accounting skills and promotion skills from the franchisor, he or she may set up his own business, compete with the franchisor, because retailing businesses is not that much difficult to copy. Number one is correct. Number two, it is difficult to wholly control the cooperation style of the franchisee, right? Even though 7-Eleven, a franchisor will give the name for the franchisee to use the 7-Eleven, every franchisees have their own styles in operating their business. So it is correct not to wholly control the style of the franchisee. Number two, correct. Number three, if a franchisee manages his business poorly, the reputation will be affected. Is obviously correct. Okay, just like a student. Student is similar to a franchisee. If a student does not do well, misbehave outside, the reputation of the school will damaged. So number 1, 2, 3 are correct. So the answer is D, 73%. 19, accounting question. Mr. Wong set up a firm on the 1st of January 2017. He introduced his motor van of $40,000 into the firm. Up to now, we know that the date was the 1st of January, and the question asked you to give the amounts of assets, liabilities, and capital on that day. Okay, not the end of the year. That's good. Okay, so just look at the beginning of the year. He introduces motor van. That means both increased. The first one, the motor van, that means the assets of the firm increased by $40,000 as well. The capital increased by $40,000 as well. And the second line and third line, we didn't see any increase or decrease in capital. So the answer should be either A or D, capital $40,000. Okay, let's go on. The firm borrowed $200,000 from Mr. Wong's relatives to purchase office equipment. So the office equipment, that is the asset of the business, has increased by $200,000, while borrow, that means the liabilities increased by $20,000 as well. Okay, let's go on. $100,000 from the bank for the business operation. That means a bank loan, is a kind of liabilities increased by $100,000 as well, while bank account belongs to asset will increase by $100,000 as well. So the total assets are $40,000 plus $200,000 plus $100,000 to be equal to $340,000. The answer is D. While liabilities are $200,000 and $100,000. So the total is $300,000. So the answer is D as well. Only 73% correct. Which of the following statements about SMEs in Hong Kong are correct? Number one, the majority of the businesses in Hong Kong are SMEs. This is correct. SMEs is very important in Hong Kong in providing job opportunities to most Hong Kong people. So the total number of employees employed by SMEs is similar to the number of employees employed by large enterprises. So in Hong Kong, actually, the majority of the businesses are SMEs. Number two, the forms of the business ownership are either sole proprietorship or partnership. This is wrong because most candidates still do not know that a private limited company may be a SME because the number of owners for a private limited company starts from one owner, and so SME can be a private limited company, but of course less probably a public limited company because if the companies can go public, that means it can issue shares to the public to raise a lot of funds. So the sources of capital will increase a lot for that kind of company. Okay, so it can rarely be a SME. So private limited company may be one form of the business ownership. Number two is wrong. SMEs are usually managed by their owners. Correct. Okay, correct. So the answer is boy 1 and 3. But for 20, only 68% candidates correct. 21 ratio. Asked about to calculate the quick ratio for 2016. The formula is given to you. CA means current asset minus CS means closing stock over current liabilities. So we try to check which of the accounts belong to current assets. It should be bank, $18,000 because it is positive. If it is negative or with bracket, it means it is a bank overdraft. Okay, which is a current liabilities. Okay, in this case, $18,000 belong to current asset. Cash, okay, $58,000 current asset. Inventory, $71,000 current asset. And trade receivables, $162,000 current asset. Minus closing stock, that means we take away $71,000. Okay, take away $71,000. Over current liabilities. It should be trade payables. Okay, trade payables are $86,000 in the numerator, and no non-tax. Okay, only one current liabilities, $86,000. Oh, so the answer for 21 is boy. 74%. 22. What is the amount of working capital? Working capital formula, current assets minus current liabilities. So you just choose what you have done in question 21. Okay, you'll find the answer for 21 is C, 70%. Okay. 23. Which of the following are the benefits for a borrower of maintaining a good personal credit record? This is about the topic personal finance planning. Okay, personal financial planning. Number one, lower interest rate on personal loan. If you can maintain a good personal credit record, that means you pay your debt on time without the need to pay interest, or you do not have a large amount of loans outstanding. So for financial institutions going to lend money to you, it will check your record, your personal credit record, to see you've if you can pay on time, your income and salary is stable enough to pay the principal, both the principal and the interest. So if you can have a good personal credit record, just like a good conduct in your report card. You can have, number one, lower interest rate on the personal loan. That means when you borrow money from the financial institution, you can enjoy, first one, a higher credit limit. Two is correct, a higher credit limit. That means the financial institution is able to lend you more money. Okay. Number two, you will be given a lower interest rate on your loan. But number three is wrong because it does nothing about the term deposit or any deposit record, because this credit record is about loans, okay, already made, instead of the asset, okay, you put in a financial institution. So number three is wrong. So the answer is A. 23, 60%. 24. Which of the following statements about unity of direction is correct? This is about management. Okay, we have five management skills. First one is called the division of labor. Division of labor. Second, we have unity of direction. And third, we have unity of command. Fourth, delegation of authority. Delegation of authority. The last one is management by objective. That means MBO. MBO. Okay, in this way, according to direction, just like boat, just like enterprise, there are four persons who are rowing the boat, just like four employees in the business. If everybody can row in the same direction, that means if all the employees can do the same kind of job towards the same goal, it become more efficient, right? Efficient to achieve the goal. But on the other hand, if the four employees row in different direction, say to the east, one to the east, another one to the west, another one to the south, another one to the north, so the boat remain stationary in the same position. Right? That means the companies cannot achieve its goals. So unit direction is very important. 24, answer is C. The employees working on the same project have same goal. Same project, same goal. Just like on the same boat, rowing towards the same goal. Okay. A is not correct. Each supervisor is responsible for one project at a time. The company has to pay a lot of money, salary to each supervisor, but each supervisor is only responsible for a project, but the project may not be big enough to award the big salary, so it is not worthwhile to hire this supervisor. Usually, each supervisor or manager has to do a lot of projects at the same time. Remember this. B, each employee works towards one goal in each period. It seems that is correct, but remember, it's about project. Okay, project has the same goal, but in each time, some employees may work towards one goal, and another employee may work towards another goal. There are a lot of goals set by the company, right? So, say for example, the company has 100 employees. It does not mean that every employee worked towards one goal. Because it should be the situation that, say for example, 20 employees work towards one goal in each time, another 20 works towards another goals in the same period, and so and so, right? There may be a lot of goals, but same project, same goal. The goals of a business should be accomplished within a reasonable time frame. It is not about time frame. It's not about time dimension, right? Okay, so C should be correct. 24, only 64% of candidates can answer correctly. So go on, 25. Which of the following descriptions about accounting assumptions, principles, conventions is correct? About CC-BAT, okay? About CC-BAT. A, historical costs. All business transactions should be recorded in the books. It is not about historical costs. It is about business entity concept, because all those transactions which are related to the business should be recorded in the books of the business. Okay, the owners and the business are separate and be recorded accordingly. So A, Ron. B, and the business entity. A sole proprietor can record his personal spending in the books of his business. Ron. This is about the separate nature, separate entity nature of the owners and the business. So the owner should not record his personal spending. Just say his family expenditure in dinner at night. Okay, the employer, the sole proprietor must not record this amount in the books of the business. C, consistency. Accounting policies and methods cannot be changed once adopted. It seems that is correct, but there is a prerequisite that unless the policies and the methods fit the situation, okay, they are appropriate enough to fit the situation, that these methods should not be changed once adopted. While the policies methods will find that they do not, they are not appropriate now. To fit the situation. Say for example, if the managers want to change the accounting policy so that the income statement shows a change from a loss in previous years to a profit this year. In order to provide a better performance to the users of the financial statements, the management try to change the policies in order to achieve this. This is not appropriate. Okay, this violates the assumptions of consistency. Okay, so there should be a prerequisite not to change the policies. And next, such policies are not appropriate enough now. Okay, D. Going concern. A business will continue its operation for the foreseeable future. Okay, it is the definition of going concern. 25, answer D. 80% correct. 26. Which of the following will affect the share price of a listed company selling motor cars? This topic is found in financial studies about stock trading as an investment. Fuel price. We are asked if fuel price will affect the share price. That means if fuel price, the change in fuel price will affect the sales of motor cars. Of course, yes. If the fuel price increases continuously, that means driving cars will cost a lot for most drivers, right? Most drivers have to pay a lot as motor car expenses in his or in their monthly expenditures. So the demand for motor cars will decrease, right? The demand for motor cars will decrease. So we will see that the share price will decrease because less people will try to change motor cars or will sell their motor cars in order to save money. Okay, number one is correct. Number two, interest rate. It seems that it's not related to the selling of motor cars, but remember, it will relate to the demand and supply of shares in the stock market. Because, say, for example, if the bank interest rate increases now, recently you see when the USA is going to increase, is gradually increase its interest rate. Because of the linked exchange rate system, Hong Kong, the Hong Kong dollar has been pegged to the US dollar. So the interest rate in Hong Kong should follow the trend. That means increase interest rate in the USA. So if interest rate increase, that means for the investors, they have to spend much more interest expense, to borrow money to be invested in the share market. That means the demand for shares will decrease. So the share price will decrease as well. Number three, dividend policy of the company will also affect share price. Again, it also affected my supply of the shares. Selling with the cars, because some investors may be retired persons, who make a living on dividends. So if the dividend policy of the company changes, that maybe the board of directors decided to reduce the amount of dividends to be distributed to the shareholders now, or in the years to come. That means the retired person will sell their shares, sell the shares, and invest in a kind of shares which offer more dividends. Yeah. So the demand for the shares of this company will decrease. So 1, 2, 3. The answer is D. 57%. Number 27. Which of the following is not an advantage of adopting democratic leadership for a business? It is about POLCL, leading. We have three kinds of leadership. One is called autocratic leadership. Second, democratic leadership. The third one is called laissez-faire leadership. Okay. For democratic leadership, it means the employees are more experienced and would like to look for more respect by the superiors, by their boss. All right. And the experience is valuable for the boss to make a sensible decision. Okay, but of course, it may lead to more communication problem because more meetings have to be held, and during meetings, it takes a lot of time and administrative expenses. Of course, conflicts will arise. Okay, so number 27, the answer is A, not an advantage. Enhance operational efficiency. Not an advantage of using this leadership style. Taking a lot of meetings. Okay, but B is correct. B is correct because it wouldn't manages exposure because experience can be obtained from many experienced employees. And C, of course, support. Because with a lot of meetings to be held, the employees, the staff will support the business policies. D, mutual understanding. More meetings, more understanding. Okay, 27A. Correct answer, 57%. 28. Which of the following four entries is all correct? Double entry. A, number 1, settle a trade debt by check. Settle a trade debt by check. By check. That means paying money by check. That means bank. The amount in bank account will decrease. So the answer on the right, credit bank account, is correct. Trade debt. Trade debt means trade payables. So it is a current liabilities. So it should be minus plus. So where we debit trade payables means we decrease trade payables. So it is correct for number 1. Settle a debt. That means decrease trade payables. Number 2. Sold the office furniture of the firm on credit. Beforehand, we should know if the company is selling office furniture. If the firm is selling office furniture, that means the office furniture should be regarded as a purchase, okay, as a kind of goods to be sold. That means purchase and sales. This should be treated as sales. But the question does not mention about this. So generally, we will get the office furniture as non-current asset. So it should not be sales. It should not be sales. So number 2 is wrong because we should not credit sales. We should credit office furniture as well. Okay. In this case, credit office furniture. It means to reduce the amount of office furniture. Number 2, wrong. Number 3, paid carriage expenses for delivering goods to customers. You are trying. The question requires you to distinguish if these carriage expenses are carriage hours or carriage invoice. Because to customers, okay, delivering goods to customers, it means carriage hours. The account is Correct. Carriage hours is an expense. So when we debit carriage hours, it means we increase carriage hours. Okay, it is correct. Of course, cash decrease. Okay, we credit cash. Number three, correct. So answer for 28 is B. Is B, 65%. 29. Which of the following statements about accounting ratios is all correct? Number one, they are used to evaluate the financial results of a business. Very simple. Okay? Evaluate financial results. That means to check the financial performance, just like profit and loss and financial position. Okay. Number two, for the calculation of all profitability ratios, the denominator is sales. Wrong. It should be net sales. Net sales, which is equal to sales minus returns inverse. Sales minus returns inverse. Wrong. Number three, the asset tax ratio of a firm is higher than its current ratio. Before you answer this question, you should know the formula for asset tax ratio and current ratio. Asset tax ratio has another meaning. Called quick ratio. Quick ratio. The formula is current assets minus closing stock divided by current liabilities. For current ratio, the formula is current asset over current liabilities. So you see that because for quick ratio or asset tax ratio, the numerator is smaller than the numerator of a current ratio. So the asset tax ratio must not be higher than this current ratio. It may be equal. If the firm has no closing inventory. If the firm has no closing inventory, that means both ratio means the same. Okay. So number three is wrong. So the answer for 29 is A. 69%. 69%. 30, the last question. Which of the following statements about nominal partner is all correct? Nominal partner, has a good reputation. Has a good reputation of his name, which is given to the partnership to run his business, to operate his business. It can display a good promotion, okay, promotion for the partnership's business to gain more sales. But remember, this kind of partners just gives his or her reputation to the business. The partner does not invest in the business, no money investment in the business, and does not take part in the management of the business. So 1 and 2 is wrong. He is liable for the debts of the partnership. No way, okay? No way. Just give his name to the business. He takes part in the operation of the business partnership, something like management. Wrong, okay? Wrong. 3 correct, okay? Reputation helps to promote the business. So the answer for question 30 is C, 3 only. 82%. 82%.